It's always an experience to see new locations, but to combine those new areas with waterfowl hunting, it's the best of both worlds. You can hunt ducks and geese in a lot of different areas, but in amongst the river valleys and the Badlands has got to be one of the most scenic locations out there.
All these geese have been in winter wheat fields and dirt fields, but the toughest problem we've had is being able to hide in them. Trying to get along ditch lines, fence lines, stuff like that.
There are tens of thousands of them. 360 degrees all around you as far as you can see, and really they're flying all day.
They're eating the heads of the wheat off while it's coming through. They're kind of saving the corn for later. The birds tend to hole up here.
You have to kind of think outside the box. And normally you don't want ducks or geese in the same field with you. We started to realize having birds in the field was a good thing.
Montana is an absolutely beautiful place. I've always dreamed of coming here. To have finally gotten the opportunity to come here and to hunt, it's a dream come true. The number of geese in this area, and we really haven't driven around much outside of 10-15 miles from town, but the number of birds here is absolutely incredible. It's a lot like the snow goose migration in the spring back home. There are tens of thousands of them. 360 degrees all around you as far as you can see, and really they're flying all day. We had located thousands of geese in a winter wheat field that offered absolutely no hide. It had a road by it, it had a ditch by it, there was a little bit of weeds, a little bit of snow still. Use what you've learned the first 2 days, get hidden, try to draw them to the edge, and see what could happen.
Well, we're typically hunting any kind of agriculture that the birds are working depending on the time of the year right along the river. Later on in the year, the geese tend to work more cornfields when it gets colder. Like today we were hunting a winter wheat field. Right now it's abnormally warm, don't have much snow. So they're eating the heads of the wheat off while it's coming through. They're kind of saving the corn for later. The birds tend to hole up here. River, there's pockets in the river that don't freeze, so geese will kind of stay year round.
Kill 'em.
The bulk of the fields that we saw geese in were winter wheat, tilled under sugar beets, or a hay field that was cut about 2 inches tall. You know, that gave us two options in that scenario. We could, one, either hunt where the birds wanted to be out in the middle of the field with absolutely no way to hide, or number two, we could get as close as possible with somewhere where we could hide and try to draw those birds.
Kill 'em.
We tried the first day to set up in the middle of the field and soon figured out that that wouldn't work. We moved to all the ditch lines and tree lines, anything where there was cover, anything to get rid of the shadows, and that's what we had to do. It didn't give us the closest shots as we wanted, but we made it work.
In situations like this, when you're hunting the edge of a field, where ducks, geese, they typically don't want to be, and you have to figure out how to get them to the edge of that field. You have to kind of think outside the box. And normally you don't want ducks or geese in the same field with you. We started to realize having birds in the field was a good thing.
And as the birds would work it, it would cut off other groups. The birds would work real low, try to go into the group of birds that was already in the field, and multiple birds trying to go in there was cutting off smaller groups, which they just would start to slide over in our direction and end up coming into our decoys instead of live birds.
And the one biggest advantage I think we had today versus the other days is early in the morning we had the sun directly at our back. All the geese stayed out in front of us. If we had birds coming from behind us over the top, we were done. But today versus the other days, all the birds stayed out in front, or at least to the side. And the sun just coming up over the Badlands behind us, it would blind them. They couldn't see us. They were coming strictly to the calling, and by the time they figured it out, it was too late. It's always fun to come to a new location to hunt. And Montana has been on our list for a number of years, and to finally get the opportunity to come out here and hook up with Connor Brown of Hard Core Decoys has been an awesome experience. It's been a great 3 days of hunting. There's a lot to be learned from what we know in the Midwest versus out here in the West. Yes, they are big, giant Canada geese, different terrain, different setting. They act different. There's different tactics that people use to shoot them out here versus shooting them at home. It's fun to learn and to see those things and learn from Connor and what he does to be successful. And to come in here in 3 days and have the hunts that we had, it was a lot of fun, and I look forward to getting back here again.